Okay, so this is Photoshop, sorry, I mean ChatGPT, but as you can see, I have some tools from Photoshop that I can use directly in ChatGPT. And I think for a lot of people, this new update is actually very useful because sometimes it is actually easier to modify or make changes on the photos using menus or sliders compared to when you're using a text description like in the typical way of editing a photo in ChatGPT. So this is a new feature that I think some people will find to be very, very helpful. So let me show you how you can actually enable Adobe Photoshop in your ChatGPT account. So let's open ChatGPT, and by the way, this feature is available for free. You don't have to pay for ChatGPT Pro or Adobe Photoshop paid version to be able to enjoy this new feature. Now, after you have opened ChatGPT, you can click on your profile picture right here, go to settings, and then click apps and connectors. So as you can see, these are some apps that are available, and of course the one that we want to use is Adobe Photoshop. Just open it, click connect, and of course you need to have your Adobe account, but again, you don't have to pay. You can just create a free account, and after that you can connect your ChatGPT and Adobe account. Now just wait for a few more seconds, and there you go. Adobe Photoshop is now connected. You can close the window and we can start using ChatGPT to edit a photo. So I'm going to upload this duck photo, a rubber duck photo, and before you describe or ask anything, you can click this button, click more, and sorry about that, click Adobe Photoshop. And only after that, you can describe the changes that you want to make to the photo. Let's say I want to make this photo to be more vibrant. Here we go. Let's send a message and just wait. So after that, it will communicate, it will call the tool from Photoshop, and it might bring some features from Photoshop directly into ChatGPT. And it is unfortunately will take quite some time because after all, it is downloading some assets or features from other third-party platforms into ChatGPT. But as you can see now, I have some menus that I can play around, and I do like the fact that it is actually giving you some ideas about how to use these tools. So it is definitely a very useful combination of large language model and the good old fashion of UI experience. Now I'll select vibrance. And here I can play around with the value, so I can make it less vibrant or more vibrant. Now, one complaint that I have about this tool is that it is actually not really applying the setting immediately. And basically, if you move to a different tool, there you go, the previous photo or the previous setting wasn't applied to that photo. So these settings are for individual images. It's unfortunately not very intuitive, but at least we have this feature now. Okay, I'll just focus on increasing the vibrance, and you can always ask ChatGPT again to bring, let's say, a different tool. So in this case, I want you to make this photo to be more like a comic book. Let's send a message. So instead of using the GPT image 1 model or whatever image model in ChatGPT, it will just call Photoshop to bring its relevant tool that can be used to fulfill the request from the user. But I think the implementation here is a bit buggy. As you can see, it is not able to bring the tools, and I think it was failed. Let me try it again. Please make the photo to look like a comic book. Okay, let me just send a message again, and hopefully we can get something after this. Okay, I just realized something, that even though it says, or the placeholder says that I can ask Adobe Photoshop, in reality, my request was actually being fulfilled by the GPT Image 1 model, which is the image model in ChatGPT. So it wasn't smart enough to actually call the Photoshop. Okay, that's kind of strange. So I guess I have to be more specific here. Please call the tool from Photoshop to make this picture to look like a comic book. Okay, I will try this, and if it doesn't work, then I guess we can move on and talk about other things. Okay, there you go, finally. So I guess you have to be a bit more specific when you want to actually use the tool from Photoshop. So as you can see, I can play around with the values in the sliders, and again, this could be more intuitive than using a text description. And yeah, I think it looks great. And by the way, if you want to download the picture to your computer, you can click this download button, and after that it will generate some download link for the picture. Or you can also just open in Photoshop and it will generate a new project in Photoshop. By the way, this is actually not the desktop app version of Photoshop. It is just the web version, which is a lot less complicated, and I think it is more approachable for a lot of people. Now I'm going to click ready to open, and it will bring me this new tab, so we can start editing the photo with more sophisticated tools in the web version of Photoshop. Okay, I'm going to close this. I don't really care about this. You don't have to pay, by the way. You can use this tool completely for free, although again, some features might be limited, especially if you want to use some more advanced tools or AI tools in Photoshop. So yeah, that's one thing to know. Okay, so I wasn't able to bring this photo into the web version of Photoshop, but I suspect, since I'm using the free version of my Adobe account, I think I'm limited to only one project. So this is the project that I already created on the web Photoshop, and that's probably explain why I cannot create another document based on this photo from ChatGPT. At least that's my theory. There is little info about this collaboration between Photoshop and OpenAI, so I'm not really sure about that, but that's just my theory why I cannot open a document. But at least, again, I can still call the features from Photoshop and bring it to ChatGPT, and I can adjust the photo directly in ChatGPT, and I can still able to save the photo to my computer without touching or visiting the Photoshop website. So yeah, I guess that's basically how you can use Adobe Photoshop in ChatGPT, and a few other quirks that you probably want to know when you are using this tool. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. I wish you a great day ahead.